Welcome everyone, you are listening to and perhaps watching Calling The Audible. We're back from our extended break from last season. I'm the host, Peeze. I have been working here for a certain amount of time. I have certain qualifications that make me an acceptable host. I am a writer for the league. I like doing interviews on camera. And so as such, I decided that Eagle said I should interview for my job while on the show. I find that weird.
But who are you to judge?
Exactly. So what's my worst trait? My worst trait is I don't take instructions well, and I don't listen to them when they're being given to me.
What's your best trait?
What if you were being interviewed for Calling The Audible, what would you tell people about yourself?
I'm Simon. I'm no longer a writer for this league. I am no longer on the show. I'm just here because Mokan was too lazy to be here.
Yes.
So
You're helping us in this transition
technically,
period.
I'm replacing you, who's replacing Mokan, who's not here.
Yes.
And who is Mokan?
Someone you're gonna meet next week, who's gonna be here next week. So I'm not Mokan.
What's Mokan's worst trait? This is more fun.
Well, Mokan likes this.
Mokan likes to blow things out of proportion. It's hilarious. It is
Yes.
hilarious. I don't know why. By the way, I am Stefano.
Hey, what's up, Steph?
I have been at this league since 2016. Won Employee of the Year 2017. Yes, that is my biggest accomplishment in life. And yeah, I was writing for this league as well, but that lasted one season because I realized my writing is terrible.
And then you got hired for.
Then I got hired for another thing that also involves me writing.
Which, by the way, you should check out.
Which, by the way, you should check.
.ca.
Yeah.
I can plug it because I can't fire myself.
You can.
Yeah. And my nickname is
That's just fun.
Scorekeeper Extraordinaire, apparently, because it seems like I am the guy that is there
That's not true.
every day. Yes, it is. Ask people. People will say Scorekeeper Extraordinaire. You know who you should ask? One of Peace's teammates. What was his name? Not Johnny, the other one.
You should know.
George. Alphantis. That's it. Alphantis. You know what I mean.
First of all, you can't say his name, right?
Well,
and
I did.
And he calls you scorekeeper extraordinaire.
Yes.
I will see him
Because
next
I
week.
don't
and
It's
get
funny
that.
though
That's
that
wrong.
the thing you should be doing best is like player names.
George?
No,
No,
it's
stats.
actually-
Math.
Score.
If you
keep
were
the
a
score.
color, what color would you be?
If I was a color, depends what mood I'm in. So if I was in a
You're
happy
already not
mood,
getting this job.
that's okay. It's okay. I already
Fired.
have it, so I mean, there's no firing, is there?
Well, again, Eagle made us interview for.
Yeah,
I don't
honestly,
know
this
why.
is all Eagle's fault.
He
Blame
has to-
Eagle for this.
Hello, I am the Eagle.
Nobody
I am
cares.
the voice without a face.
Where's the screech?
And
That's not
I'm
you.
the ones trying to keep you guys in check.
Yeah,
and
no,
How
that
many years
doesn't work.
experience do you have in this field?
I have a lot of experience, actually.
What's a lot? Put a number next to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't ask for your.
Because a lot could mean nothing.
I mean, I've been with Flag Plus for 10 years, on the media team for 8.
That's not true.
I basically crafted Peeze into my alter ego that gets to be bold
also
and
not true.
rash.
It's a lot of lies.
Who do
Eagle.
you think you are? What gives you the right?
I mean, I am Francois Delaurier.
There we go. That's
No
fair.
one will get that joke in this division, but you will.
Poorly placed. Poorly placed.
Yes.
How's it going, boys?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Week
Yeah,
one's
not
the
bad.
Bucks.
No,
Oh.
well, half of.
Part of.
Well, 3/4 of it.
So for those who don't know, and those are waiting for the stats to be uploaded from last night's games, they did not happen.
Yes. Correct.
So I guess the correct answer would be time travel because eventually the games will happen.
Yes, we're gonna change the games to another specific night on a specific time. Whichever
You'll
way it
get there.
works.
You'll get it.
We just don't know when that will be yet because we don't want to put it too late in the future or too early in the past.
Time travel.
Time
well
travel.
done.
Time
well
travel.
done. You guys catch any games? Division E?
Yeah, I saw part of the game Trailer Park Boys against Nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
Nemesis is somewhat of a brand new team, so there's a bunch of guys who've never played FPL before.
Well,
mixed
there's
in.
Emile Jandas played in the past.
Yeah, Emile has played, but Gerson has played before. Manny Calichon has played before. But there's a few new guys that never played FPL before. So you could see from against Trailer Park Boys, who are a fairly known commodity in Division D now. You could see right from the beginning, Nemesis was struggling a little bit offensively to get anything going. A bunch of new guys learning how to run routes, learning how to catch a football, learning how FPF works against a good defense in Trailer Park Boys, who usually tends to keep teams within 20 points. So
we said that all last season. Like,
yeah,
if you score 22 points, you will win the game.
yeah. And so in the first half, they may have had some interceptions. Trailer Park Boys played well, made some nice catches. They seemed to be in control, but I had to leave at halftime. But the game looked like it was Trailer Park Boys to win, and it's what happened. They won 20-14. They usually win all these crappy games by a low of like a 20-12 or 18-16 sort of games, you know.
Seeing that you saw them up close and personal, what is it about Trailer Park Boys defense that makes them so effective?
They really tend to take away everything that's like past 10 yards. So they'll force you to drive the field slowly. They're good at tackling. They take away the deep balls. So you have to go 8-9 completions in a drive to score against them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something in Division E that a lot of quarterbacks struggle with. Right? You're going to take one short pass, maybe two, and then you're going to get greedy and want to take a shot. They don't have the patience to go 8-9 plays in a row with 5-yard hooks or slants and stuff like that. So that's what Terry Pipers figured, is if we take away deep balls, at some point somebody's going to take a shot deep, and we're going to pick it off.
That's right, and like it's working out. It's definitely working out to their advantage.
Mm-hmm.
They're moving up from Division 6D. Do you think they'll be able to transition well, Steph, into Division E? Into like a collaborated Division E where it's not subdivided?
Well, see, the thing is, it depends on who they face because, like you said, they came from 6D, which is basically the bottom half of E in this sense. But they would be able to compete, but I don't see them finishing the season with with a winning record. So I mean, unless they find a way to score more than 20 points, then when that day comes, well, once they do, which they probably will at least once, that is probably the recipe they should use to succeed in this.
It's one of those things that it's like the easiest analysis for us, but sometimes like it works out. Like, so it's like, if you want to change the narrative, just
Score
do
more.
it. Just score more than 20
points. They also
points.
play a very slow-paced game. Like their offense doesn't go. Like they won't have 25 offensive plays. They usually their drive. They're gonna have 2 drives in the first half and 2 drives in the second half. So if you only have 4 drives, scoring 20 points isn't bad per se.
Yeah.
Right, but they don't play that high speed, like high octane offense that you see from a lot of Division E teams where they go 40 bombs on 40 bombs. You know.
Emil Janda threw 3 interceptions. I said in my preseason article that he tends to throw a lot of interceptions. I know them when I see them. I'm one of them. But so working now with guys like Justin Previan, who's played a lot in this league, how do you think he can help Emil Janda improve?
I think just the combo of, first of all, you have Mendy Calderon, who's a very good receiver on the team. That's going to help him, right? Having a guy like that who can win matchups for you and have certain patterns that work really well is going to open up their playbook saying, if I'm stuck on 3rd and long, Mendy's there. Having Gerson also helps because he played quarterback before. He's been on a bunch of teams in the past few years where they know what works for the other teams. Let's try to implement this into our team. And it's never about having the best athletes on the field. It's about having a system that works.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Nemesis listen, it was week 1, the first game in the season. They're going to be much better in a few weeks.
Yeah, it's one of those teams you'd rather play earlier than late.
Yeah.
So, what's your garbage day?
Wednesdays.
It's Thursday for me. Do you have recycling the same day
Yes.
as garbage? Same day?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
And compost.
RDP does
How
things
come?
differently.
How come? Like everyone hasn't moved to where you live? Because I forget one every week.
We even have compost on the same day.
Is it the same truck? Like,
Does anybody use compost?
Yeah,
I
everybody
don't
in my
use
block.
compost.
are they just like all throwing all your shit in the garbage?
I feel like that's what they are doing. Like they don't
Yeah,
even send
like,
more
that
than one
doesn't
truck.
seem
There's
right.
not
Like,
a
also,
chance.
like, what happens if there's traffic and they're all just sort of stuck in the
No.
same spot? Or what if all 3 trucks collide
No,
and like nothing gets picked
That's
up?
a mess.
Yeah.
That's a very big mess.
The garbage truck comes around like at 8 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
So like if I'm lazy and I get up like 8:15 and I missed it, it's a bit of a pain in the ass.
Why don't you
No,
do that Peyton Manning commercial where you toss it into the back?
He'll miss.
He'll miss,
intercepted.
yeah. Well, I don't know. He's a quarterback
I
in
mean,
Division
I
B.
throw
so I mean-
interceptions, bro.
Yeah, that's true. But see, you got to throw an interception to a garbage truck.
Yeah, I could get it picked off by my neighbors, or you stuck with it now.
Yeah.
It's
It's
not
not
bad.
bad.
See?
It's not bad. No, I always thought that was like winning at life because like every week I'm gonna forget one of them. Hopefully it's
though?
not the garbage because recycling doesn't smell.
Yeah,
That's true.
recycling's not that
I have
bad.
them all on different days. So the
Yeah,
city
same here.
pickup for like branches and shit. That's
Okay.
one. Garbage, recycling, and then I have compost all on different days.
That's
4
4
different
days in a row, man.
4 days in a row.
Wow. What's the one day you don't have anything?
Friday.
Yeah, it's an RDP
Unless it's
thing.
Domino's.
Well, yeah.
But yeah.
Tell us about your game.
My
Fede
game.
du Roi against Honor Game. Talk more about Honor Game than Fede du Roi.
Yeah, so what's interesting is I know Honor Game more than I know Fede du Roi.
Okay.
Because that was the first time I met them.
Okay.
That's a very good connection right there.
So I'll give analysis on both teams without talking about sort of like my performance.
Okay,
or-
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because A, I played terribly, and B, like it's not interesting to anyone. So, honestly, honor game is interesting because it's a lot of the guys who were on, that team's blanking on me now. Seventh
Warriors?
rounders.
Okay.
So Terry Babelis, really fast dude.
Really fast. It's a
Yeah,
great
he's
name,
faster than Terry Babelis.
It's a great name. Really fast, dude.
That is a good name.
It'll come to me in a second as I open the page. It's just the internet here is slow sometimes.
Trying to buy time.
Jonathan Harrod.
Okay.
Harrod's very fast. Terry Babelis is a very good rusher.
Jonathan
Although I made him look dumb a couple times. I felt good about that because he's actually really, really good.
Trent Aaron's about to have his rating spike because he's playing Div A.
Yeah, well, he's also he's good for this division. Like he's
Yeah.
very, very good. He's very fast. If you're looking for a guy to recruit to replace your trash on lightweights, Simon, Jonathan Harrod's your guy.
Trash.
Um, And Angelo Muralato is the guy who played with the Warriors before.
Yep.
And now they add Devin Daou as a snapper.
Okay.
And Dave Daou is quarterback. I've played with Dave Daou.
Yep.
It was not a very good season, but an Eagle can test this with Nakatomi Survivors. Even though we lost every game, we were in every game.
Yep.
Dave Daou was never going to get blown out. And in Division E, that's the secret to staying around.
Also, we're comparing, like, he was playing Division 5, now he moved down.
Well,
to-
but with a more established
yeah,
team.
but he moved down to a weaker division, playing
Yeah.
the same position with his brother again.
But he looked good. He made a couple of mistakes throwing the ball errantly into the middle of the field. But, I mean, that's, again, not playing with a familiar core. Same Fizeroy, it's guys who are incredibly fast, incredibly gifted, great hands across the field, but they're not flag football players. And so they're not in the right spots at the right time. So it's going to be a learning curve for both of these teams for different reasons. Seventh rounders had that learning curve last year, learning how to play in FPF. Fizeroy are going to have a similar learning curve. The difference is their learning curve now for Honor Game, because I'm thinking of the last season's names now. For Honor Game is that it's learning to play cooperatively and learning to play in a cohesive unit, and that'll take a couple of weeks. But like, look, they got to win while doing that, right? They faced a team who was in a similar situation. They took advantage. Angelo Muralatos with pick six. They have talent across the field.
They're playing Rosas next week, who's also
That should be a win for them as well.
Rosas this week they scored 3 times, twice was pick sixes.
Yeah.
Right, so their offense isn't
Well,
going
and like
anywhere.
they don't even have William Plant, who was their quarterback.
Yeah, they have a new quarterback, and he's a runner first. So their offense isn't really working yet. It's going to take some time. So Honor Game should be able to go on a roll, beating another team, because they're also learning, right?
Yeah. So Threat Level Midnight took on Lockdown. For the members of Lockdown, of Threat Level Midnight, and Lockdown, actually, they'll all remember Andrew Dana. Andrew Dana had to play catcher this week in softball because Steven Alberico was at this game for Lockdown. So it was very unhappy. Nobody likes playing catcher.
It's a good thing, too, because nobody else showed up for lockdown. And you had
Ayo.
Mr. Eagle playing on offense, which is, very rare.
Very funny.
But
Define playing.
well, you know what? He actually caught a touchdown.
I heard.
Okay? But the way he caught the touchdown was absolutely hilarious.
Describe
Okay.
it for the because
So-
part of the show is a radio
Yeah,
show.
okay, so that's a game that I watched, clearly, because I saw the touchdown. And he was wide open, corner of the end zone. Okay? And
How did he get was he there from the play before?
no, it's because nobody thinks that he's useful, so they just let him be.
Fair.
Okay? Fair enough.
It's the right. To be fair,
I-
that's the right defense.
I would probably.
Eagle,
And it
you
almost
agree?
worked. It almost worked though, because Pat Wright gave him a pass, and it was right to his chest. But Eagle, for some reason, jumped backwards, stretched out his hands. Okay, and then the ball hit his hands when he's wide open. There's nobody for 5 yards of him. Then he juggled it twice, and then he came down with it. Now all he had to do was basically let it hit his stomach, and he's going to be good. But no, he wanted to challenge himself for some odd reason.
He is challenged.
He is challenged, probably. The haircut is selling me on that,
Well, the
But
thing
yeah,
is,
that was a ridiculous catch. It could have been okay, all right, I'm by myself. Let me just stand in place. But no, let me jump backwards because I feel like it, and reach out my hands. And if it hits my hands and falls, oh well. But it did not, so I'm good.
It makes me think of what it will be like when Simon is first handling his first child.
Ooh,
Wow.
You're like, I don't know what to do. Oh, no, okay, fine.
it's gonna be like was
Fine.
it Pumbaa that reached out like this?
Yeah.
Or Michael
Sophie's
Jackson
gonna
off the
scream,
top of the
so
balcony.
I'm gonna have to catch him, but
That's a rough name to be compared to these days.
That is.
Yeah.
That is. But
Sophie?
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. But look, hey, that whole thing went to a shit because it was a false statement from the guy. Apparently, one of them.
Let's talk about.
I'm not going to touch that.
One of them.
Level of Midnight. So
Let's
Joe
talk
Lemieux-
about the most important game that happened.
Well, let's finish the one third level of midnight. So
Oh, sorry.
Joe Lemieux, it looked like good Joe Lemieux.
Yep.
Is this the season where he catches his bearings, Simo? And do we see the Joe Lemieux who should be there?
Listen, they keep moving down. Like every season, they're moving one division lower. So they were like, I remember playing against Jonathan Amir
In Division
a while
4.
back. In Division 4,
I was in that game.
he's been moving down a little bit more and more. Now
He
he's in
keeps
Division
losing
E.
players. That's why.
He keeps losing players, but he's also not.
But he's also gotten worse.
I
And
mean,
I don't know why.
I don't know how the rating
He-
system works here,
he
but
played
like, he
lockdown
seems to be-
and he went 10 for 20.
Yeah.
Like, That's
And
yes.
that's not a lockdown
So-
defense.
So, yeah,
at all.
they played what?
That is
It's poorly named.
awful.
They
No,
scored
not
5
at all.
touchdowns, but he also went 10 for 20. Like, it's not a good stat line.
No.
And he threw a pick. So, like, his overall stat line isn't great. Yes, he looks good. Oh, listen, Loman scored 33 points. It went by 2 scores. But overall, it wasn't a very great performance. He had 119 yards, 5 touchdowns, and a pick. And he had 3 extra possessions because Pat Wright threw 3 picks. So, overall, they won, but he didn't play great. So, if he plays this way the whole season, they will lose games.
Yeah.
Because some teams won't be have an half-ass roster the way Lockdown did. They're gonna have better. They're gonna play better teams on Lockdown, and they're gonna lose a few games.
Yeah.
So they need him to play a little bit better. Like if he would have been 16 for 20, 120 yards, 5 touchdowns, and I wouldn't be having this discussion.
And now Max Newcastle helped drive the field early in the game. Then threat level midnight adjusted. Does Lockdown have secondary offensive threats, or were they just not here for this game?
They weren't there for the game. I could, I'm not taking Eagles' advice, but I was there, and they were not very good. I mean, Steven Alberico had himself quite a game because he's usually the safety blanket for Pat Wright.
I play with Steven.
Yeah,
He's
a
great
good
hands.
player. He's a good
going to
player.
be open. He's
Yeah.
not a game breaker. He's going to put up 150 yards, but
His running is funny.
Yeah.
But he finds ways to make people miss tackles.
It's
So,
incredible.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
I feel
And it's not like he's spinning or anything. He's just running with a low center of gravity, and people just keep missing his
that's
flight.
an interesting way to say that he's short.
Well, you know what? I'm trying to be nice for
Yeah.
obvious reasons. And if they have to find a way to
Is the
actually
obvious
have
reason
the
that you're trying to sleep with Steven Alberico?
no. The obvious
it's not that
reason is
obvious.
me trying to keep this going into week 2.
All right.
Yeah, good.
Nice.
Okay, is
So-
that a good reason? That's a good
So
reason.
Trent Neville did add 2 very good players to their team, in
Mhm.
Riley Pincombe and Julien Proulx.
But they lost JD Jolly.
They did, but
Riley
Riley
Pincombe is
Pincombe
quite a good.
He's very good.
is very good, and not a lot of people know him the
Yeah.
way we know JD Jody, for instance. And even Justin Proulx, they're both very good players. That's gonna add to Trent Level Midnight not having a defense for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And these 2 guys together are basically a very good Division E defense.
Yeah.
So they should this should help them too. Like if you don't have Jonathan Amir playing super well and you're able to get 3 turnovers in a game, you're gonna win. Like he's not gonna throw 4.
Simo, your boys at John Gear.
Yes, sir. Jean-Guy, 1-0, baby. Undefeated season.
12-6.
Undefeated season.
That game.
You know, they
10-0, baby.
because you said that, they're going to lose next week.
It's
They're
okay, I'm not
definitely
here.
gonna lose, okay.
It's okay, I'm not here.
All right, fair enough.
Jean-Guy never loses when I'm here.
Are you sure about that?
They went like 8-0, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
Jean-Guy, man. This is the most Jean-Guy game of all time.
It really is.
12-6, quarterback threw 3 picks, scored 1 time.
Yeah, it was like
That's
I
how
was.
this works.
That's another game that I was
Oh,
able to
Jean-Guy.
watch. And the funny part is, I told Andel, who hates Mo Khan, by the way.
He hates Mokan.
He really does hate
A
Mo
lot of
Khan.
people do.
Yeah, but that's just saying. That's like, but like I told Andel before the game, for some strange reason, Jean-Guy's defense gets the job done, and
Every
they held
time.
them to 6 points.
Yo, 6 PDs, 3
6
picks, 2
points.
sacks. But let's not forget, the rusher for Jean-Guy is very good. Simon Laporte is like a Division
But
2
you
rusher.
see,
He's not on the team.
he is.
He is?
Yes.
Okay.
He is for this
He
game.
wasn't
but he
on
might
the
not,
the roster preseason.
No, he might not play the whole season, but for this game he was.
there.
Yeah,
But if
he's a
he's
legit
there-
rusher.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really gets the job done because, and also, there's kind of like a lack of experience, I'll say, maybe a quarterback for Tyler Grondin.
Well, so Tyler Grondin, in his career, has 22 touchdowns, 31 interceptions.
Yeah.
So he's struggling. He has to learn a position.
Yeah, he has to learn how to play quarterback more.
He's got some good pieces, though.
But he forces throws way too often.
Yeah. But he doesn't read. He just
Yeah.
He has one read.
makes
He
the
goes
read
to
in
that
the
read.
huddle.
Yeah,
Yes.
but he's got the right pieces this season to learn something like that. Like Stefano is a good player. Sekir's a good player. Kevin Dennett's a good player. Nimrod Jankowski's a good player. And Dell's a good player. He's got this very good core around him that should make, this season, the practice squad, a better team for him to learn with.
Yeah, but see, that's the problem. Because he has these guys, he stares down Kevin Donnett, and that's where he's throwing.
Yeah, but he's going to learn that
as soon as he stares
season.
down a receiver, he doesn't look at a second read.
Yeah.
Whether the guy is double coverage, triple coverage, whatever, it doesn't matter. He's going to throw to his first read.
Yeah.
And that bit him in the ass this game.
It will.
Because
But
he also tried going deep, and Riley, no, that was the other game. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, but Janky,
Yeah.
so first of all, you're playing against a very tough
Yeah,
rusher,
very tough.
which is tough to play against because you have less time. You can't really run around. And Janky's defense knows that the rush is good, so they're going to jump your first read thinking Simon won't let them have more time in the pocket. And it works really well. So you're also playing a tough defense that, like you said, gets the job done somehow. Let's see what happens next week with practice squad when they play a defense that's not as good as Janky's.
Yeah, because I even told he didn't
Never
believe
mind.
him, though. That's the worst part.
Never mind. Practice squad is playing Bent Knights next week.
Oh, that's
Back-to-back losses, baby.
Best defense in the history of
Best
FPF.
defense.
That's going to be a fun game.
Replacements took on Bosy Boys. Marc-Andre Delaunier wrote to me after this game and he said, Bosy Boys are going to be B-ballers of this season. They're way too good for this division. I don't think they're necessarily quite that good because Gianni Casati was essentially a Division 3 quarterback playing in Division 6. But Steph, you were there for that game, right?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm the one that told him that. I didn't say that they would be too good for the division because I told them they're a good team. They're young guys. The quarterback gets the job done. They like to run. And honestly, they just...
I see what they did here.
Yeah? What did you
I'm
see?
just looking at the stats. So Bosy Boys is a team that... So initially this team was not supposed to exist. They backed out last minute because they didn't have enough players. So we held the FPF Combine this year, which is like we do every year. We have free agents that show up. We see how good they are, and we basically bring them in and say, listen, if you guys want to play FPF, we're just going to rate you guys and see what division you belong in. And because this team didn't have enough players, they said, we're only 4. Can you help us out? So we gave them 3 players for them to fit. And one of those players is their quarterback, who's a Division 3 quarterback.
So it is B-ballers.
The thing is, like, the quarterback is a super nice. He's going to spread the ball. He's going to get everybody involved. But he played McGill for a year as a quarterback.
That's fun.
So now he's playing Div E. The purpose initially, we told he shouldn't be in Division E. But he was also not supposed to play quarterback for that team. But that there's nothing, we can't control that, right? Like, if he shows up and plays quarterback, it is what it is.
Oh, I saw the name George Dergodis, and I was like, I wonder if he's related to Jack.
Yeah, I think so. But
maybe I thought maybe he might throw because Jeans.
No,
he was supposed to. Pierre-Luc was not supposed to play quarterback. Was supposed to play receiver for them. I'm assuming in warm-ups he realized, oh, this guy is very good.
You're playing quarterback.
You could actually throw the ball.
I mean, he ran 6 times for 71 yards and 2 touchdowns too.
Yeah.
Really,
And
he's fast. He's athletic, and I mean, he did play.
That was the
CIS.
issue there. He was able to run away from the rusher like nothing. And honestly, I don't know how, but for some reason he likes going to the sideline and like tiptoeing his way to the end zone. Like, he goes all the way to the very end before stepping out of bounds, and then he takes some strange turn, and he just finds a way to get into
because
the
he's
end
not
zone.
tackling. He knows he won't get wrecked.
Yeah. So it's like a shift that just works out. And
Or
it worked
because
out
you're running
twice.
down the sideline because that's what quarterbacks do in tackle. Because
Yeah.
if the guy's
But
coming,
I'm
I
saying
step out of
now
bounds.
you come back in bounds because he's not gonna get wrecked.
That being said, I mean, he can't catch the ball himself, and he still got 15 completions, including 6 to Nick Richard for 66 yards and a TD. So
Yeah.
it's
but
not
the
like the
team was-
team
the
is
team was
letting him
good.
down.
My analysis was right.
The team's good. The quarterback is very good, but he's also learning, right? Like, we've seen what happens when you take a very good tackle quarterback, you place him in FPF.
Yeah, so like the one
There's a
lesson
learning
we have
curve.
is
Yeah, but
Gianni
isn't-
Casati when
yeah.
he came in was a flag quarterback, tackle and flag, but
he was a flag quarterback with a core that was too good for the division to begin
with
with.
experienced players.
With guys that
So
knew what they were doing.
it's missing. Bosy Boys are missing that, so they may not go on the tear that B-ballers went on.
Yeah.
But it's still gonna be a tough team to beat.
They're going to be very good.
They should get jerseys, though. That's
Yeah.
one thing.
They should.
If you want your stats to, like, clobber the rest of the division, get jerseys.
Yeah, they're going to be good, but I don't think they're going to be that good just because there's a lot of learning. They don't have chemistry together. They don't know each other. And
No, but we're going to see this week. They're playing clinkers, I think.
yeah, your first
Yeah.
season in
This
FPF
is a
as a
good test.
quarterback, you're not going to be great because you have to learn what play works, how it works. And they played against a team in replacements. It was a somewhat close game, but replacements is not the strongest team in Division E.
No, but they've been playing together. They know the game. Replacements
Yeah,
know how
no,
to-
there's no knock on replacement. I just think that if this game would have happened in 8 weeks, it would have been a different story.
Yeah.
than today.
They were more of a last half season team replacement. But Bosy boys are going to be a good team, and we'll see. Their first test is Clinkers. We'll see how they do.
Yeah, that'll be a better challenge for
Yeah,
whatever.
for
The
sure.
best way to best division to learn how to play quarterback is Division E. to be
Of
honest.
course.
So he's in a very ideal spot.
Starting
right now.
E, learn your way
Yeah.
up, and
You
see where
struggle in
match.
E, then you're like, okay, I gotta adjust because if I suck in E, like what does that mean
Yeah.
for me, right?
So for new teams, this is what we do every year. This is a new season. New music brought to you by Atsuko Chiba, as we heard at the beginning of the show. Simon looked disappointed because there was no laser sounds.
I know it's not the same, man. It
was very
it's okay. I'm not
loud.
here anymore, so whatever. You guys do whatever.
Nobody cares for your opinion then. There it is.
There we go. Happy now?
No, it's not the same.
the same. Should
But
be
like,
earlier.
okay, so like we talked about Bosy Boys being a new team. And, they're gonna have their learning curve, but they're one of the teams that will likely be fine. But I think there's still teams I consider to be new, like for example, Chocolate Barracudas, who struggled
Mhm.
last season.
Yeah.
Believe the Hype, who came down. They're coming down from Division 4, but they were awful in Division 4.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they
don't
didn't
know why
belong for whatsoever.
Um,
is that because they joined later, or is because they actually thought that they were that good?
Yeah, believe the hype.
Oh, right.
yeah.
That makes
They were
sense.
FPF junior players
Okay.
who saw other FPF junior players before them play in higher division, thinking
Yeah.
we're as good as they are, so let's match.
Makes
in their
enough
division.
sense. Makes enough sense.
But like, I mean,
But also,
it's
if
very rarely.
if you take
Yeah.
one kid from FPF junior and put him on your team, that doesn't mean the team's FPF junior caliber,
yeah,
right? But these guys all together, there was it was too much new all at once.
There was an
Yeah.
FBF junior player that played in Division 1. So,
Yeah.
there you go.
Well, there's a few that could play Division 1.
No, but one did. Played with Wyatt at
Yeah.
quarterback.
yeah.
No.
Talk
played
about your first. Yeah.
No, you play with
Ferdinand played with Wyatt.
who? Sorry.
Ferdinand? Caleb.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, but there's also but there
Oh, that's the kid I'm talking about.
Arian Jamanti played with Tony Curry in Division 1.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember the name of their
That's another
maniacs.
person.
But Maniacs. Yeah, it's another person.
That's
but he
another
did.
person.
He came from FPF Junior. It was
Yeah.
his first season in FPF. He
Yeah.
was brought up to Division 1.
Yeah, and so like, what about like Lionhearts? They're pretty new. They improved as the season went on, but still tough.
So they didn't play this week because of the Wednesday thing.
So what can we expect from them?
But I'm assuming, considering what happened with Lionhearts in the first 5 weeks versus the last 5 weeks of winter,
No,
right?
they definitely improved.
they were terrible the first 5
Yeah,
weeks.
it didn't take
They're
long
What
offense
was
to
it,
improve, but
Eagle? When we go speak to them, it was like week 6, and they had scored 6 points.
Yeah, so their offense was going
So
nowhere.
that night they scored. The first
Yeah, I
half
was
they scored
there.
6 points,
Yeah,
and it was like they've doubled
that
their
night they
totals.
scored. Yeah,
so and they
they
finished
ended
the
up scoring
season
20 something.
being
that
able
night.
to score 24
Yeah.
points, 26 points. So there's something there. I'm not saying they're going to be a juggernaut this season, but they've improved.
They'll
So
be
if
more-
they're,
they'll
if
be
they're
more
able to
competitive.
put up 20 points on a weekly basis or 24 points on a weekly basis, they will win some
I'm
weeks.
curious to see if Emilio Greco is going to throw too, because he wasn't supposed to be the quarterback to start last season. So we'll see if they will go with him or
Either
someone
QB
else.
got hurt like before the season, like the first play, the first drive, or whatever. Yeah.
Eagle, what's the time for?
Games of the week.
So my picks will be in Marc Andre's article, as they are.
You
every
don't have
week.
your own.
I do. We assimilate power rankings to my article,
Okay.
and he has our picks in his article.
So basically, you take his power rankings, you just copy,
And he
paste
get,
on Google.
they trade
Translate.
power rankings for predictions.
No, it's, I don't Google Translate. We both have our own power rankings in my article,
They trade.
Yes.
and
so you take
he
his,
has both of our
Google
picks.
Translate. Just say it's
No,
yours.
It's in French. His is in French, and mine are in English.
That's the Google Translate part.
They're different. They're different rankings. We say different things. It's
Okay.
not. This isn't that hard to understand.
Yeah,
Also, you
guy.
should probably read the articles.
I don't think he cares enough to read Divi.
It's obvious.
No,
that
read
he-
Peeze.
it's
I read
obvious-
everybody's but Peeze.
Yeah,
Once we get to the discussions about ratings and quarterbacks in the next 2 podcasts, it's obvious that he doesn't care.
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
gonna be
I tell
fun.
Peeze it doesn't matter. You're writing. I don't want to read it anymore.
Fair enough.
Do you want to pick the games? Or you want me to pick?
I'm
them?
going to announce the games, and 3 of you will pick, because my picks will be in the article. How many?
Let's do 5.
Cinco.
Mountain Goats and Trojans.
Mountain Goat hasn't played the season yet. Brand new team to FPF. Never played FPF before.
So they have that surprise factor.
That's the wrong week. They're not playing.
Very good. You're getting there. You're getting amazing.
I was very
Rush
confused.
POST.
Canes and Lionhearts.
Ooh.
So Canes struggled offensively in the first week. They couldn't get much going from the quarterback passing perspective. Lionhearts, we just talked about them saying we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna go Canes.
I'm
Just-
predicting a tie.
Oh boy, call me.
It's
gonna be
early. It's
18,
early to
18.
predict the tie.
18-18.
18.
And what I predict to be the best game of the weekend, Los Siete Amigos against Trojans.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
gonna be. A
Oh
good
yeah,
game.
Eagle. What's your pick? Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Canes.
All right.
Wow.
Great analysis.
Great analysis. That was fantastic, guy.
I like Los
He
Siete
screams,
Amigos.
"Do I gotta pick away from the mic?" But loud enough so the mic can still pick it up.
Yeah.
And then just sells Canes.
That
All right.
sounds like our
fantastic.
show. I like Los Siete Amigos in this game. I think that Trojans are coming off a close loss to Bud Knights, but Los Siete Amigos should be a strong team this season.
I agree.
You see, Los Cetes Amigos have a strong roster, but Trojans have a guy that played with them last season, so I'm going to take the Trojans in this.
And Los Siete Amigos started the game with only 5 players.
Yeah, they're coming off a bad loss, but they'll bounce back.
They started with 5 players.
Is that why they lost?
No,
Probably.
but it didn't help.
All right, fair enough.
Do they have a roster of 7 people?
I don't know.
I'll have to
There's
check.
no way I can know that.
Well,
I'm
you
not a
can clearly-
wizard, Eagle.
You could click their team name.
this isn't cases of wizardry.
Ego, just pick somebody.
They have a roster of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, they have 8 people. I'm going with Trojans.
If anything, they should be stronger because it's like they have a hidden
Yeah, but
player.
Then one of them's not a friend, and it's going to be like the bad apple.
I see.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. So if you get cut next season, you know why. And in the game nobody wants to watch, Thundercats Diablos.
Yee.
Wow.
So the reason why Diablos is going to win is because their quarterback's going to run for touchdowns because he can't throw, and they don't have receivers.
Charles Van not bad. I watched him play this week. It's going to be
Charles
an
Meadows played way too much.
What?
He's played 3 games already in 3 days.
Yeah.
And he's been all over the place. He's throwing an E. He's with you.
Well, he only subbed for us. He's not on
Okay,
anything.
well, just to say, he could play in B. He could play in C. You know,
You can play
But
over.
I watched him throw this weekend. He's
He's
quite
new.
good.
he's,
He's
not
new,
bad.
It's,
right?
it's
Yeah, he
definitely
is.
an improvement over
But
over Sun.
we know we know his
Yeah.
ability as a runner
Shameless.
could take up like he could win a game just by running.
Yeah, that's true.
And
don't recommend
I don't think Thundercats have
he
the rusher
runs.
to keep him in the pocket for too long if he wants to run that much.
He runs, he spikes it. He runs, he spikes it. That's going to be a stat line. I said Diablo's going to
0 for 10 rushes for 5 touchdowns. Those would be great.
I have to regrettably agree with them.
All right. Is that it? You want 3, 4?
No, we said 5. So go ahead.
You're at 3.
How many? You said 5?
5.
Okay. Rosas honor game.
Give me honor game. We talked about it earlier.
Yeah, we're going to his honor game.
You sticking with it?
Yeah.
Does Rosas have a chance?
They're not going to lose by much, but I see them
Not with
losing
the
by-
team that they had this week.
What's like
They'll
the
probably lose
worst
by 10.
sauce to see like raw or left out? I feel like old hibachi sauce can be great.
Mayonnaise would be pretty bad.
Mayonnaise is pretty
Real
bad.
mayonnaise,
I
not
mean,
the,
technically, mayonnaise is raw though.
What
yeah,
about
but the
mayo
real
chup?
mayonnaise.
What
Not
about
the
mayo
ones you
chup?
buy in the stores.
What about the Heinz mayo chup?
What?
That'll be terrible.
I don't mind seeing that left over.
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's brand
I'm
new.
sure it's mostly
brand new.
plastic.
Brand new.
Ranch.
Ranch.
Ranch can't be good.
Tzatziki's probably terrible.
Well,
All emulsions.
A real
basically.
Caesar too.
Tzatziki's probably terrible, honestly.
Tzatziki,
Yeah.
Yeah, you leave tzatziki
yeah.
out. Yeah, that's disgusting.
I'm sticking with hibachi.
I'm
Hibachi
gonna-
sauce
I'm
can
gonna-
be great.
Yeah, it
left out.
can be good.
Eagle, your pick.
Let me take honor game.
Wow,
That's it.
so much emotion.
Bosy Boys Clinkers.
Ooh,
This will be a fun game.
this will be a fun game. I'm curious to see what Marc
A
Andre
really
does.
fast quarterback
Yeah.
against a quarterback who has a.
tries
You can
to
describe
run.
similarly with one less letter. I can say that because
No,
Yes.
you can't, because nobody's gonna understand what letter you're talking about.
Asked. He's an asked quarterback.
Exactly. You see?
He's a fast.
Yeah. But I feel like Bosy Boys, you guys are busted. Bosy Boys are gonna win because Marc Andre is gonna get fed up of how they play.
I think the reason why Bosy Boys is going to win is because their offense is going to play. Pialik's going to learn not to turn the ball over, and they're going to score just enough for Clinkers to not be able to catch up.
What's your pick?
I guess Eagles not picking.
Both boys.
Wow.
All right.
Jean-Guy 10-0, baby.
That's it. That's
Jean-Guy
Division
2-9.
E.
Jean-Guy beats replacements this week, and they're going 10-0, baby.
2-8.
That's Division E. I'm Peeze. You're Simon. You're
I'm
Stefano. You're Eagle. You are yourselves. Thank you all
Yes,
for
yes,
letting
we
me be myself.
Wow.
So you really like a Michael Jackson truther, huh? Like in that